What is up, Broncos fans? The Denver Broncos show. Evan here, back again, here to do another updates video to update you guys on all the latest free agent signings and trades that the Denver Broncos have made the past couple days. The Broncos have been pretty busy over the weekend, made quite a bit of transactions, a lot of roster moves, and I think we made some good moves that are going to help improve our football team next year. I mentioned in my last video that I was pretty disappointed in the Broncos front office, mainly John Elway and Brian Zanders, that we weren't making any moves in free agency. We were just kind of standing put and just really not being major players at all in the free agent or trade market. But over the weekend, it looked like the Broncos' patience finally kind of paid off. We started to make some pretty solid signings and start to be somewhat players in the free agent market, and even made a nice little trade on Monday, which I was pretty pleased with. So getting into all these moves that the Broncos did make, starting with last Friday and going over the weekend. Like I said, that's when the Broncos really made most of their moves. On Friday, we signed linebacker Nate Irving to a 4-year deal. Finally got him under contract, and now every single one of our 2011 draft picks is under contract, and they're all in training camp, which is great. Utmost props and respect to John Elway and Brian Zanders for getting all our draft picks locked up, getting their contracts finalized, and making sure none of those guys missed major time. Nate Irving was the last guy to sign, but he really only missed like a handful of practices, so that's good to see, and it's good that he's in camp and he's being a productive player. Apparently he's running with the first team defense quite a bit, are making impacts right away, so that's good to see, and I was glad to see Nate Irving's contract finally get done. Also on Friday, we re-signed a couple players. We were able to re-sign linebacker Wesley Woodyard, kicker Matt Prater, and defensive lineman Ryan McBean. They all signed their free agent tenders, which is good to see. Good to see all these guys back in orange and blue this season. All right, now getting to Saturday, the Broncos made a couple moves on Saturday. This first move did surprise me quite a bit. We actually released safety Renaldo Hill, which, like I said, I was very surprised by. Renaldo Hill was released on Saturday. Apparently, some of the reasons he released one of the main reasons that people are throwing around is that we released Renaldo Hill to try to free up some money, free up some cap space, so we can go out and sign some other guys, help improve our football team. And another reason, which seems to be the one that I think is the most likely reason we released Renaldo Hill, is because the emergence of Raheem Moore throughout training camp. Apparently Raheem Moore has been having, as I mentioned before, a really, really good training camp, and has really impressed our coaches and the Broncos coaching staff as a whole, and even the local media people that have been out there at Dove Valley, reporting stuff coming out of camp, and then guys to look out for, guys that are having good camps. Raheem Moore is a name that you hear a lot, along with Julius Thomas and Von Miller. So I think that was also one of the main reasons Renaldo Hill was released, because I think the Broncos front office and the Broncos coaching staff, and just the Broncos as a whole, as an organization, kind of gave Raheem Moore a vote of confidence in doing this and releasing Renaldo Hill, because he's had such an impressive training camp so far. And it looks like he's going to be our starting free safety this year, with Brian Dawkins starting at the strong safety position. So it's unfortunate for Renaldo Hill that he was released, because he had 2 really productive seasons here in Denver. In those 2 seasons he had here with us, he compiled 122 tackles, 2 sacks, 10 pass deflections, 4 interceptions, and 2 forced fumbles. So, like I said, I was very surprised to see him released, because he was a very productive safety. But I think it's just kind of a vote of confidence from the Broncos organization and Raheem Moore to make this move, and Raheem Moore is going to get a shot to start day 1. Best of luck to Renaldo Hill wherever he goes, and I just want to thank him for the 2 years he gave us here in Denver, and I appreciate all the hard work he put in as a Broncos fan to help improve our team and help our team win. So best of luck to Renaldo Hill, and I look forward to seeing Raheem Moore get a shot to start at that free safety position. Saturday, we signed free agent wide receiver David Anderson to a 1-year deal. This wasn't like a big signing or a great signing by any means, but I think it was a solid pickup for us. David Anderson was let go by the Houston Texans, and the Broncos decided to pick him up and sign him to a 1-year deal. I think David Anderson, for the most part, is probably going to be a core special teams player for us, and more than likely a rotational wide receiver for us. It's probably going to be like our 4th or 5th or maybe even 6th wide receiver on our depth chart. So like I said, probably going to be a rotational wide receiver. Okay, now getting to a Sunday. On Sunday, the Broncos made what is, in my opinion, the best signing they've made so far. We were able to, on Sunday, sign running back Willis McGahee to a 4-year, $9.5 million deal to become a member of the Denver Broncos. I'm not sure the $9.5 million is the exact salary Willis McGahee is going to make, but from the reports and things I've seen, his salary is going to be somewhere in that ballpark of $9.5, $10 million deal, and obviously it is a 4-year deal. So really happy about this sign. I think it's a great pickup for us. I think this is really going to help our team out. Is Willis McGahee a top-tier running back in the NFL right now? No. But he's a very productive back, and I think he's a very good, solid running back. So I'm very happy to have him here. You know, he's not Chris Johnson. He's not his former teammate Ray Rice. He's not Jamal Charles. He's not Adrian Peterson. He's not in that league. But he's a kind of a mid-tier running back. He's very productive, very solid guy, very tough runner, and is a touchdown machine. And that's something we really need here in Denver to kind of reinvigorate our running game. And I think he's going to help Knowshon Moreno out a lot, in a sense that he's going to take a lot of the pressure off Knowshon Moreno. A lot of people have been down on Moreno throughout his first 2 seasons here in Denver, including myself. A lot of people have been critical of him. But I think he's had 2 real solid seasons here. I mean, almost rushed for 1,000 yards in his rookie year. And I think, you know, having Willis McGahee, bringing him into Denver and kind of running that dual back system that John Fox likes to run, I think it's only just going to help Knowshon Moreno. One of the main reasons apparently he did sign with us was due to our current running back coach, Eric Stoodsville, who was also our interim head coach last season. At the latter part of last season, the last couple games, was actually Willis McGahee's running back coach in Buffalo when Willis McGahee started his career out there, and that's where he had, you know, some of his best years. So that was one of the main reasons he wanted to come to Denver, is to kind of re-team up with Eric Stoodsville as his running back coach. Willis McGahee's last couple of seasons in Baltimore, his last 3 years. Remember, this is his numbers without being the featured back there. Obviously, Ray Rice has kind of took over that role in Baltimore and has been a phenomenal player for the Baltimore Ravens. But these are Willis McGahee's numbers the last 3 years in Baltimore. In 2008, he had 170 carries for 671 yards, averaged 3.9 yards per carry. Also had 7 touchdowns in 2008. In 2009, he had 109 carries. He accumulated 544 yards, averaged 5 yards per carry, and had 12 touchdowns. And last season had 100 carries, accumulated 380 yards, averaged 3.8 yards per carry, and had 5 touchdowns. So as you can tell, his carries obviously dropped throughout the past couple seasons. Obviously, that was due to Ray Rice having a bigger role and becoming the featured guy there in Baltimore. But he's still productive in the limited amount of touches that he was getting. I think him and Knowshon Moreno are going to probably split the carries, you know, very evenly. And you know, John Fox loves running that dual back system. That a lot of people obviously know that, and you know, he's had a lot of success doing that. Obviously, most recently with the Carolina Panthers when he had the dual back system there, and had you know, D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart. I think they were called Smash and Dash or Slash and Dash, something like that. They had a nickname for themselves, and they were a terror. I mean, they were a 2-headed monster, Carolina Panthers, and they were a big reason. You know, a couple years ago they were, I believe, you know, 12-4, 13-3. I mean, they had a really good season, and it had a lot to do with those 2 guys. So you know, I get to, hopefully that success that Fox had with those 2 guys and in Carolina with the dual back system will translate here in Denver, and will translate, you know, to Willis McGahee and Knowshon Moreno having, you know, both having great seasons and kind of reinvigorating our running game here in Denver. A lot of trouble, you know, converting 3rd and shorts, and just, you know, in short yard conversions, we were awful last year. And I think Willis McGahee also going to help us in that category dramatically. I think our 3rd down conversion percentage is going to go up, and I think Willis McGahee is going to help us a lot in short yard situations. So I'm extremely ecstatic to have Willis McGahee here. Welcome to Denver, Willis. All us Bronco fans, I think, are happy to have you here, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you know, that 3-headed monster could potentially be with Willis McGahee, Knowshon Moreno, and Lendell White. It's going to be exciting to watch, and I look forward to seeing Willis get on the field on Thursday when he can finally practice with the team. Also on Sunday, the Broncos signed 2 tight ends. We signed tight end Dante Rosario to a 1-year deal, and signed tight end Daniel Fells to a 1-year deal on Sunday. You know, solid acquisitions. I don't think either one of these guys is going to be you know, huge impact players, but I think they'll both help our team. Dante Rosario obviously played under John Fox in Carolina. Throughout his career, he's compiled 82 catches, 894 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Those are his career numbers. I think he'll be competitive for that starting tight end job. I think Dante Rosario has a good shot to be a contributor for us this season, and I think has a real good shot at being our starting tight end this year. As for Daniel Fells, Really had a good season last year for the St. Louis Rams. Had 41 catches, 391 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Very solid numbers for him. And throughout his career, he's racked up 69 catches for 745 yards and 5 touchdowns. Happy to have Dante Rosario and Daniel Fells here in Denver. Looking forward to seeing what they can do. Broncos also re-signed defensive tackle Marcus Thomas to a 1-year deal. That was a big signing. I think this is going to be a good year for Marcus Thomas. Obviously, with us changed to the 4-3, that's kind of a more natural fit for him. And once again, you gotta have big bodies on that defensive front, and we need all the help we can get along that defense. I think Marcus Thomas has a really good shot this year of starting and being a really good player. I think he could have a breakout year this year with us switching to the 4-3 and just another big body that we bring in at the defensive tackle position. I shouldn't say bring in a guy that we keep. And I'm happy to have Marcus Thomas back, and I'm happy to have him back in the orange and blue, and looking forward to seeing him have a really good year this year. All right, now to the 2 latest moves the Broncos made. Both these moves happened yesterday. On Monday, we signed defensive end Derek Harvey, I believe, to a 1-year contract. Derek Harvey obviously played for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's a first-round pick a couple years back. He was the 8th overall pick, I want to say in the 05 or 06 draft. Has been a huge bust for Jacksonville. I think any Jaguars fans will tell you that. As a guy that his work ethic has been questioned quite a bit. But is still a young guy and has a lot of potential. Obviously, Jacksonville released him because he hasn't been that productive for them, and he hasn't really lived up to the billing of being the 8th overall pick a couple years back, and was making a lot of money for not being that good of a player. I kind of have mixed feelings on the signing. Hopefully Derek Harvey can resurrect his career here, turn around his career here in Denver, be a productive player for us. Hopefully he'll work hard. As long as our coaches can bring the best out of him and he can work hard, maybe this will turn out to be a good signing for the Broncos. But I'm optimistic, but I'm also skeptical at the same time. But I'm happy to have Derek Harvey here. Like I say, he's only 24 years old, so he's got plenty of time to continue to prove. Got a lot of potential. Just gotta work hard, and hopefully our coaches will be able to bring the best out of him. And it's another addition we added on our defensive line, and that's something I'm really happy about. Throughout his career in Jacksonville, he had 88 tackles, 8 sacks, and 5 pass deflections. Not the greatest numbers in the world, especially for being the number 8 overall pick. But still decent, solid numbers. And let's just hope as Broncos fans the coaching staff can get him to work hard, and hopefully he can turn around his career here in Denver and be a really productive defensive end for us. Yeah, the other move the Broncos made on Monday, the Broncos were able to acquire defensive tackle Brodrick Bunkley from the Philadelphia Eagles in exchange for a 2013 undisclosed pick. I'm assuming that pick is probably going to be a 3rd or 4th or possibly even 5th round pick. We're sending to Philadelphia in 2013, so we're going to give anything up of significance to Philadelphia for Brodrick Bunkley. But I'm very excited about this sign. I think Brodrick Bunkley is a very good defensive tackle. We obviously needed a defensive tackle desperately. Did not draft one, hadn't signed one via free agency. Thus far, we re-signed Marcus Thomas, but besides that, we were adding a bunch of defensive ends and no defensive tackle. So I'm glad we got one finally here in Brodrick Bunkley. I think he's a very good defensive tackle, as I mentioned before. And it's kind of weird how he was able to. It's kind of weird how he got to Denver, I should say. Apparently, he was traded to the Cleveland Browns a couple days ago, and decided not to show up to the Browns training camp, and apparently the trade was reverted back to the Eagles, who then decided to send him to Denver. He's only 27 years old, so again, just adding youth to that defensive line, and once again, add another big body along that defensive front. We need that badly. We all know how bad of a run defense we were last year. We were 31st in the NFL. We couldn't stop anybody when it came to the run game. So this is a good addition. Brodrick Bunkley is not Ndamukong Suh. He's not Albert Haynesworth. He's not an elite defensive tackle, but he's darn good. And he's a guy that's going to clog the lane. He's going to stop the run, and he's going to be a plugger, if you will. He's going to fill the holes, fill the gaps, if you will. And I think he's going to help us a lot, especially with our rush defense. I'm very excited to have him here. In the couple years he's had with Philadelphia so far, he's accumulated 144 tackles, 6 sacks, and 7 pass deflections. I expect Brodrick Bunkley to more than likely probably be our starting defensive tackle this year. I think it's a great addition for us. Like I said, the guy's only 27. Hopefully he'll show up to camp here in Denver, unlike he did for Cleveland. and will be a productive player for us. This guy, like I said, he's going to fill the hole. He's going to be a gap filler for us, and he's going to be a plugger, as I mentioned before. He's going to definitely, I think, help us in the run with our run defense, and to help improve our football team. And that's what you want to do, obviously, when you acquire players. And I'm very excited to have this guy here. So happy to have Brodrick Bunkley here in Denver. Look forward to see what he can do. Before I go, I just want to give a quick shout out to It's Your Boy Fizzle. If you haven't checked his channel out, go check him out. He's a Broncos fan, I believe, from Georgia. Cool guy. Does a lot of entertaining videos about a lot of different topics, but also talks about football, and like I said, is a Bronco fan. So go check out It's Your Boy Fizzle. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description box below. Please go subscribe to him. Great Broncos fan. Always comments on my videos. I appreciate that a lot. And like I said, go subscribe to him. So that's a video for today. I'll be back with another updates video. Hopefully it won't be this long. And hopefully you guys keep watching, keep subscribing, keep supporting the Broncos as always. Good to see him making some moves, and I'll see you guys next time. So take care, guys, and as always, go Broncos.